What's up? Welcome back to Nowstalgia. Dave here with a review of Bryson Tiller's fifth album, Part 1, The Vices. His upcoming fifth album, Solace and the Vices, was released in one half, the Vices half, on August 8th, with the Solace half to conclude this double album coming up soon on October 2nd. So this is the review of the first part that's out now. Getting to this a little bit late. I had kind of missed the release, honestly, because if you go on like Spotify, like digital streaming platforms, all these songs were put out originally as like singles, so it wasn't clear that this was supposed to be like a part one of an album in any stretch. Now you can actually find it in that way, so kind of missed the release on this. But nonetheless, Bryson Tiller, he's back after releasing his self-titled album just last year, so he's definitely a lot more present than he had been, I think, in the previous 10 years where he hadn't been releasing all too much. But this is certainly interesting that he's releasing a double album. Specifically, The Vices is a hip-hop focused project, and Solace is supposed to be a more traditional Bryson Tiller R&B project. So we'll see how that goes. Bryson, of course, has thrown other ideas out there in the past, like this project that he's put down called Serenity. He says he might go back to that in the future, but either way, Bryson Tiller decided to make this hip-hop album, The Vices, in large part due to the success of Whatever She Wants last year, which was a pretty big hit for him. Bryson Tiller, not known to be a, traditional rapper. Of course, the trap soul brand had a ton of hip hop to it, but also still very much R&B, and that specific Bryson Tiller flavor is the reason why he got so popular and remains so to this day, 10 years after trap soul. That being said, I think The Vices is fine. There's definitely some cool hip-hop stuff that Bryson can do, but I do find some of his like straight-up rapping to just be a little bit okay. I think sometimes he's just a little bit flat. Like, I think the bars are just a little bit sparse. It's cliche to say you miss Bryson Tiller when he does trap soul, but that was a unique blend. He's openly expressed frustration with people always going back to that and how that's something that's in the past, especially post the anniversary album. I understand where he's at, but that's just how I feel. Like, this is cool. I enjoy this. I think I like The Vices better than a few past Bryson projects, but we're still a long way off the core appeal of 10 years ago. Also, we have a lot of tracks here, about 30 minutes in length, pretty quick. I think the first song, On My Way, is an example of like, this is maybe like the ceiling of Bryson as a rapper, right? Because it's like this super quick flow. But I do find the delivery kind of flat. Like, it's clear this is not his like main mode. The beat also is a bit sparse, not really doing him any favors. First Place, though, the next song, I think this is perhaps the highlight. I think this, with that bass drum reminiscent of like old Bryson to me. I like that song a lot. Cut Ties with Boss Man D-Lo. This is, I think, a good example of Bryson Tiller kind of doing both, going in between. Like, despite this being the rap half, there's still plenty of Bryson singing on The Vices. There's still plenty of his, normal R&B stuff here. I think Cut Ties has a really nice chorus. Minnie Kelly, this is just like Bryson straight up rapping, but has these very jazzy strings, which are a great fit for the Rick Ross feature. Just so nice to hear from him. I think that song's quite cool. More Than Money, I think this one's all right. I enjoy the hi-hats on that beat there. Burnout featuring Bun B, I enjoy Bryson using the pitch down voice like on top of those bass hits. Sounds pretty cool. The last track, Finished, you got these traditional trap drums, very Atlanta. Pretty hard for Bryson. I like that flow switch up he does with the second verse. So like, I don't think there's anything like super exciting here. I think that's just kind of like my biggest note with it, where it's like, this is cool, but I was never someone who really gravitated towards Whatever She Wants all that much. Of course, that's a song with 400 million plus streams on Spotify. People like the track, but like, to me, Bryson, doing hip hop, to me, I always go back to a song like Rambo or 502 Come Up off Trap Soul, right? Sorry Not Sorry. Right, that 3-track run on that album, I just can't help but want to get that every time. And it's not fair to react that way. So like I said, I think there's some cool stuff here. I think First Time in particular is probably First Place. I think that's the best song here. But let me know, what did you think of Bryson Tiller's The Vices? Where are you at with Bryson in terms of his place between R&B and hip hop? How are you feeling about it? Let me know. Are you excited for Solace coming in October? And for more music reviews, more rap reviews, subscribe, and I'll see you next time.